Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Carla.
And I am Preston.
And this is Tales from Cape Bretoners. What's going on tonight, Preston?
So, anyways, we realized tonight we had 159 views. We've reached our 100 view mark.
Yep.
We said that we'd give you a special treat, and since we've reached 159 views in our very first video, I believe it was the intro.
First or second.
Anyways, thanks guys. We hope to get more and more likes each time we do videos and more shares.
Yeah.
But anyways, the time has come where Carla gets to display her eye tonight.
Yeah!
So at the end of the show, we'll go through it, and then we'll kind of switch around and get the camera, and then we'll show you the process.
Yeah, we'll get Preston the video, me taking it out, and showing you the eyeball, marble, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what it looks like.
And
then the socket.
That's right. And just remember, guys, like if you enjoy our content, just hit the like and subscribe button. We usually just go by the seat of our plan. Nothing's ever planned. So sorry if we haven't been keeping up on comments. I try to go through it and I'll look and try to respond to people. But sometimes I'll respond from my personal ID instead of switching over. But anyways, if you see Preston, it's me.
Yeah, there you go.
So anyways, but guys, enjoy the show. This one here, we got a doozy for you today.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about people that go missing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all kinds of reasons people go missing. You know, there's always predators out there, and we know that.
Some are strange.
Some are, you know, UFO victims. Some are,
Some end up thousands of miles away. They disappear for a week, and all of a sudden they don't remember how they got there. They're 3,000 miles away.
Yeah,
you know?
and no
There's
wallet.
Crazy cases all over the world.
Yeah, no wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alaska's bad for people going missing, walking into like the fifth dimension or something. I don't know what's going on there,
but sometimes
they're never seen from again.
That's right.
Yeah, for sure. So, anyways, we're going to be talking about people that in our history that we've known have gone missing. So,
some of them are tragic.
Some of them are tragic, yeah, for sure. Some of them are just quirky.
Happened, right? Yeah. Those answers are always the hardest when you don't know.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough thing. So
I would never want to be a parent with a child.
No, hell no. I don't want to be a family member with somebody that goes missing.
So, anyways, we do have a doozy for you, and we'll let you start off tonight, Carla.
So, me and my brother Paul, we had a couple of friends. I'm going to say his name is Dave, because I don't want to give his name. It was publicized enough at the time all this happened. So, but anyways. He was in the same grade as my brother Paul. They were graduating, and his sister was in the same grade as me, and I was in grade 10, so I was 2 years behind my brother. And they graduated, paper in hand, graduation party, and Dave disappears. Like after or around the graduation party, and they can't find him anywhere. Like there's just nothing, no trace of the guy whatsoever. And so cops went in and asked everybody, and you know they got information, but they couldn't see that there was any foul play or anything that they could point their finger to that something happened to the guy, that he walked into a ravine by accident, or nothing that they could point to at all.
Yeah,
like the guy just was gone, like gone. So they put him missing on the milk carton. Back in those days, you used to put missing children on the milk cartons, or missing people on the milk cartons. And he was still considered a child because he was just like around 17, 18 mark. So anyways, they put him on the milk carton and time went by and he was just gone. Like, I mean gone. Like, it's like, wow, okay, the guy's gone.
Yeah, 70s and 80s, that was a thing, guys.
Yeah.
Milk cartons.
Yeah, milk cartons.
Missing children were on them all over.
It was a good idea. It was actually a really good idea, and they should keep doing it. Actually, they should still do it.
For sure.
Because you're sitting in the morning, having your cereal, you're reading the box, you're reading the milk carton. Yeah. You're paying attention to it, so it keeps it in the forefront of your mind. So if you see this kid, you're gonna know what you're looking for. At least it's gonna look familiar, right? Where you see a passing picture on a video or like that doesn't mean nothing, right? This is in your house, you're seeing it all the time, you get more familiar with it.
Well, we rely on so much on social media, that's why you don't think of those good things.
Yeah, no, and they should. It was a really smart way to keep focus on children that were missing. So, anyways, time goes by and you kind of forget. You figure buddy died somewhere or something bad happened to him, and it is what it is. And after 7 years, they declared him dead, and whatever. And about the 8th year of him missing, me and my brother Paul were walking downtown Toronto. We're walking down the street, and there he is, right in front of us. And I kid you not. And we're like, Dave. He's like, oh, hey, Paul, Carla, how's it going? Blah, 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 blah. And we're like, what the fuck, man? Like, what is going on? Right? And he's like, oh, yeah, I've been here for like 8 years. And I'm like, you're missing. Paul's like, you're missing. You haven't talked to your parents, your family. He goes, no, I just wanted to get out and get away, and I was just done with all that. And I wanted to be done with all that, and I just left. And he's like, so we're like, you need to call your parents, man. Like, they think you're fucking dead.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, why do they think I'm dead? Because they haven't heard from you in 8 years. Like, seriously.
So selfish.
How much fucking pot have you been smoking, man? Fuck. So, anyways, he did phone his parents and at least let them know he was alive. I'm not sure if there was any relationship after that, but
holy fuck!
But
like, I just didn't want to talk to you.
Yeah, like
you never know what anybody's
well, you don't know what.
right?
That's it, right? Like
Who
maybe he
knows?
was depressed, or I don't know what his family life
don't
was
know
like.
what anything
right?
was like,
I
right?
don't know what his family life was like, right? So I don't know what was going on there or whatever. And for whatever reason, he chose to literally walk away in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
With no fucking luggage, no. He could have done it the next day. He could have just packed up and walked out, but no, he decided
just wanted to go.
Hitchhiked across the country. Yeah. So we went for a coffee and stuff, and he told us, he said, yeah, I hitchhiked across the country and, started in Montreal and hung out there for a couple of years, and then, hit Toronto, and then finally I met a girl, and, he's married now, and it's like,
that's cool, though.
Fuck, right?
But tragic for the family.
Tragic for the family in one way, but not in another.
Living that way, not knowing.
Well, that's it.
It's a crazy.
So it was a crazy story, but it's a very true story that
That's
actually
amazing.
happened,
Yeah.
and
there's those people that just want to disappear. That was one thing I was going to say earlier when we were starting the show, but you just told a good story for that.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it was. He just wanted to disappear. He just didn't want. Whatever the life he felt he had at the time was not the life he wanted.
We had a friend that the same thing. I won't get into details, but he was really close, and later in life, I guess he would have been a teenager. This would have been the 90s. Yeah. And he disappeared, and I don't think his parents still know where he is. Wow. And brothers. Wow. Like they all. Like he had, there was 3 of them. Yeah, what happened? Tell us the story. We don't know the story. That's what I mean. Like nobody heard from him.
How he kind of left. Tell us that story.
We don't know. We don't know.
He was just there and then he was gone?
Well, no, he was, I don't know the story, the full standard story, but how he disappeared, but he went missing in the 90s. And we never heard. Like that, there was nothing, like, that was it. There was no... Gone. We don't know what happened to him. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Nobody knows what happened to him. Yeah. So that's the story. It's tragic, right? You're like, wow, you don't when a parent doesn't know, I think they get hurt a lot. Well, right? For sure. It's terrible, man. There's stories terrible. Like if you listen, sometimes I'll listen to the 411 there, that David Pilati fella.
Yeah, I like that guy.
And I like his stories too, and I like Mr. Ballin the way he tells his stories, right? Yeah. I like Mr. Ballin the way he tells his stories.
Thumbs up for Mr. Ballin. If you haven't checked him out, check him out. He's good.
David Pilates, Pilates, I think. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right.
He's written the books 411 Missing.
That's it. Missing 411.
So, Missing 411.
Yeah, and
they're awesome.
Yeah,
they're good books.
And he leaves it up to you to speculate what it is. But there's some pretty fucking strange stories, and some of them out there, like where children disappear and they find like fucking shoes in a valley over there and fucking 1,500 fucking meters up on a mountain.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they're placed there like they're all folded and fucking, like just weird shit like that, right?
Yeah.
You know, and in the mountains, there's a lot of shit that goes on like that. People disappear all the time in the mountains.
Well, yeah, and I mean,
You know?
the problem with the mountains is there's no real way of knowing what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have been eaten by a bear because the bear will attack you and bury you, right, for food for the winter, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you'd never be found. And then, you know, I mean, and there again, UFOs and portals
they
into
say
the
that,
fifth dimension.
Mount Robson
Yeah.
in British Columbia, there's speculation that there's been a few disappearances from Mount Robson.
Well, Mount Robson has the lights too, right?
And they have strange lights there.
Those globes, those strange globes that go in and out through the mountains there.
Yeah.
Mount Robson it's a weird place, man. Like I've been there camping a few times.
It is.
And
it's a great place.
It is beautiful, man. Yeah, I mean it's gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, but I mean a few times they're camping. They have this moss on the trees that's like lichen in the water.
Yeah.
Same organism basically. And so you be sitting there around the fire and you look up and everything's lit up like a fucking Christmas tree and you're thinking to yourself, am I high? Like what the fuck is going on here, right? Like, did I have too much to drink, man? I need to stop drinking. Because like
and the
we're
sky
all
always
lit
seems closer there too.
Oh yeah,
when you're looking up in the mountains,
you're
it's
much
like really
closer,
fucking close.
Well, you're much closer to it. You're
You
like
know,
2,500 feet above.
But
above
you got to
sea
kind of,
level.
we'll explain that to some of our clients that might not ever get to see that.
Oh,
not
yeah.
clients, whatever you call our listeners. Sorry. Our
patrons.
Patrons.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
no, like out west, you're in the mountain. When you're in the mountains, like on the floor in the valley, you're about anywhere from 2,500 to 2,800 feet above sea level already.
Yeah.
And then as you go up the mountain, you're getting even higher. So even the oxygen gets thinner.
Damn straight.
Like you can get in serious peril, man, hiking in the mountains, like serious peril, because if you're not aware of your breathing and you're not aware of what you're taking in and you're not resting enough and you can collapse, like, and then you're done, man. The predator's there.
Oh, you get drunk. You get drunk or too faster out.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like when you're out there, guys, just so you know, when you're drinking up in the mountains, the air is different, so it hits you differently. Sometimes you might wake up with no hangover. Depends on the next day, right?
Yeah, and some days you might wake up with your head splitting. And then you got to watch the
most days because it's the oxygen.
Yeah,
right?
the lack of oxygen.
Lack of, so you get more headaches.
And you got to watch the RVers out there. The old people RVers, they always have fucking moonshine of some sort that they made at home. And they're like, you want a little moonshine? Sure. Well, here, just have a little, you don't want a lot. You have like one shot and you're like, what the fuck did I just drink? What am I doing? Yeah. So, but anyway, so there is quite a few people that go missing up in the mountains. Like I said, Alaska apparently is the #1 place in North America.
Oh no,
where
for
people
sure.
go missing.
For sure, like there's all sorts of good ones out there. Like there's Yosemite is well known for that too. There's a lot of disappearances in Yosemite.
Yeah, almost like, and the ones in Yosemite are almost like sirens. You know, like the old story of Hercules there with the sirens, the calls, the boat, right? What am I thinking of here? The Odyssey. So they're saying it's almost like sirens will call people to the lake, like to the water, and they'll like take their clothes off and pile them in a nice little pile and just walk off a cliff or walk, like they say this is the kind of shit that's happening there. It's like hearing the sirens, and they mesmerize you and put you into a spin that you're not even aware of, right?
No, and
but there again, that could be lack of oxygen.
Could be all the fucking sulfur they're breathing in too.
Well, that too, around there, could be.
Because you're around like one of the largest fucking volcanoes in North America.
Well, for sure, for sure.
That one.
But around the lakes, I don't think the sulfur would be that bad around. There's
and I
that
believe
one
that one
lake
carries
there.
right up to our area too, because Valemont, Blue River,
Yeah.
where Clearwater is,
Yeah.
that's right on a volcano.
Yeah. Yeah.
Myrtle
yeah.
Lake is old volcano,
Yeah.
and I believe it's all the same systems.
Yeah.
But
Well, yeah, it went right up to
realistically, they're all the same systems.
the one that the one that had the volcano in the 80s. There, not Martha. What is it? Saint in Washington.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Mount St. Helen.
Mount St. Helen.
Yeah.
So yeah, when Mount St. Helen blew in the
That was
80s,
another
man,
one.
that was wild, man. It
That
was
whole system. Like,
It was
it's all
raining
made.
mud.
There's
for
like
months.
fucking big mate volcanoes all
Yeah.
along there, man. That whole area.
Yeah.
St. Andreas Fault too, right? You got the Andreas Fault going right up, fault line,
Yeah.
and then you got all sorts of fucking volcano systems going right from fucking California right up, man.
Yeah, but
crazy.
Mount St. Helens, man, that was wild. We were in Alberta when that happened,
Yeah,
and it rained mud for months.
Yeah.
Mud.
that was
Like
dusty and everything. Yeah.
absolutely mud for months.
That was in the 80s.
Yeah, it was wild. It was just wild, and a lot of people went missing during that as well, just because
yeah, it was-
mudslides and
Disappear.
people got out of their homes and just
Panic.
or
Things happen,
whatever, right? Who
Yeah.
knows? Maybe they just went, you know what? It's a good time to fuck the mortgage and get out. You know what I mean? Like, fuck this, pack up, honey, we're out of here. They'll never know we were fucking ever here. We're dead. We're gone. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm sure a few of them did that too. Why not?
Who knows?
Yeah.
No, I remember when that happened. That was
But yeah, I
hilarious.
mean, a lot of people did go missing during that as well,
Yeah.
and some you could understand because of the mudslides and everything from the volcano, but some of them were not understandable at all. Some of them were
No.
like, you know, why? Like they're miles away, and then they just never came back.
Well, that's like Hunter. Okay,
Yeah.
you know, you got it's like some stories you listen to. There's hunters out there that, like, you know, you hear a story about a guy. There's one out there in particular where they say
Speak
that
up.
the hunter was out there. Him and his dad were out there hunting. His dad was a well-known woodsman.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And a good hunter.
Yeah.
Right. And this is, you know, so a good hunter. You know, we all usually go in with our compasses and stuff, so we're not going in to get lost.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and
So,
you usually make markers and
Yeah,
stuff
we
to know
have
where you're
different
at.
things we're doing.
Yeah.
We got compasses with
Yeah.
us. You know, when
Well,
you're,
and
when
we
you're
were-
going tracking any kind of animal,
Yeah,
you should
we were always
think you know
taught
your
too
gears,
that
right?
and we were always taught that if you're in unfamiliar territory, notch the trees,
Yeah,
right?
and you could, yeah.
You know, so you know you can kind of track where you've been to where you are, right?
You could, but it's easy to get lost in the thick brush if you're not.
Oh, no,
you
for
know what
sure,
I mean?
for
so It's
sure.
always good to. You always should learn how to use a compass.
Oh, well,
and
of
that
course,
sort of thing.
you shouldn't be
But,
hunting if you don't know how to use
Well,
compass.
that's what they were saying though, that their father was a well-known hunter, and they were all doing that, and then they
Tracker,
got separated, right?
Yeah.
And just for like 2 seconds,
Mhm.
like they just got separated for like 2 seconds, and like
Yep.
the way it was told, right? And then I guess Buddy starts yelling for his dad, like he couldn't have went that fast,
Mm,
right? And his dad was gone, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, there's nothing showing bear attack or anything like that, because there'll be a fucking pile of blood or something.
be
Because the
something.
bear's gonna
yeah.
be fucking. He'll
bear.
drag you out. He'll pull you.
You're gonna
He'll
hear
heave you.
And
He'll,
you're
yeah,
gonna hear
and they're
'em.
fucking.
You're gonna hear
they
them
stink.
for a half a mile.
smell
yeah.
like
Oh,
swamp.
yeah.
You know, like they're a bear, especially grizzlies.
Yeah.
They got. You'll know when a grizzly's in the area because
Yeah.
it smells like fucking shit,
Yeah.
like sewer
Yeah.
and death. Like
Yeah.
because they eat raw meat
Yeah.
and fucking. It's just they're rotten.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And the same with fucking. They say when people talk about Bigfoot. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like Bigfoot too. Who the fuck is? We
Yeah.
got so many vast forests out there.
Oh,
For us to say that Bigfoot doesn't exist,
Oh yeah.
how the fuck do they know that it doesn't?
Yeah.
They can't even see. You know, look at northern Ontario, how thick the woods are.
Oh
there, right?
jeez.
You go missing in a place like that, who the fuck is going to find you?
No, you're done.
You're done.
You're done.
Leslie
and I'm
Stroud
sorry, I
tried
laugh.
to do a Survivor Man there in northern Ontario, and
Yeah.
he failed twice,
Yeah.
miserably.
Yeah.
And I like his stuff, right?
Well, he's awesome. If
Yeah, he
anybody
was
can
good, man.
survive, it's
Survivor
him.
man.
Yeah. He's fucking.
It was a great
he's
show.
great.
I liked it.
Yeah.
He did awesome stuff. But those were two places that times he failed in Ontario, northern Ontario.
And the one thing makes me laugh about Sasquatch, Bigfoot, whatever you want to call it, is people always say, well, if there was proof of it, you'd find the bones. Okay?
Yeah.
That's what they always say. And stop and think about that comment for just a minute. How often do you walk through the woods and see deer bones and bear bones and wolf bones and rabbit bones and fucking squirrel bones, and we'd be littered with fucking bones.
Yeah.
You know, if all the dead animals didn't get totally devoured when they die, we'd be littered with fucking bones in the woods. You wouldn't be able to walk through the trees without stepping on fucking bones at this point in life. I mean, come on. So it only stands to reason that if a Bigfoot were to die, the same thing would happen to him that would happen to the bear or her or whatever.
Well, you'll find some dead animals in the woods.
Yeah,
you know,
but they're just dead. I've found dead things too, but I'm saying
and
you
it's
don't.
Probably because
you don't find shitloads of you
know?
don't find shitloads of remains in the woods.
No,
and it's very rare you find a bear.
No. The chances are most animals that go lay down and fucking die somewhere is like most fucking...
Yeah, they go into like a hole or something to die. That's usually what they do. So.
And then they'll fucking die in their rest, right? Slowly go, right? But nature of the beast, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. But I'm just saying, like,
that
as a point that Sasquatch doesn't exist or Bigfoot doesn't exist is ridiculous, because that's just not how nature works.
There's things out there that are very, 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 and people say there's, you know what? When somebody's fucking throwing rocks at you, it sounds pretty damn convincing.
Yeah.
Listen, when you're fucking in the woods, okay, right?
Yeah.
Either that or there's some fucking twisted fucking people out there.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
have to say, if there's somebody that could spend all that time throwing fucking rocks and fucking cabins and everything else, giving somebody a hard time.
Yeah.
They got some serious mental issues.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So they probably shouldn't be hanging out in them woods anyways. You probably might want to start fucking looking for a new area to fucking hike, right?
Squeal like a pig.
Because fucking like wrong turn, you know, usually there's some sort of premise where to get the idea from, right?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether it's fucking Ed Gein's story or fucking, you know.
Yeah.
But you get the point. But
people go missing for other reasons.
Yeah, don't go looking to get fucking missing is what I'm saying. You know, don't go poking the fucking bear if you don't need to, you know.
Yeah, the old saying, don't tempt the devil.
You know.
Yeah, don't tempt the devil.
You know, and if there's somebody going missing in your area, you know, in a fucking certain area, chances are stay the fuck away from that fucking area. Obviously somebody don't want you there.
That's right, or something.
It's like the ghost telling you to get the fuck out, right?
Yeah.
Usually you only have to tell me once, get out. Okay, fuck right there, bud. See you later, buddy.
Yeah.
Fucking so long, take care.
Yeah, pack up, honey, we're out of here.
Don't let the fucking door hit us on the way out.
Yeah. Get out. Okay, I'm good. Yeah. Sounds good, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Fucking, you know, it's true though, like, you know.
Yeah. But no, you get in those situations. Like, another missing one that's really interesting is actually on Missing 411 out of Alaska.
Yeah.
There was 4 guys, I believe it was 4 or 5 anyways, were hiking up the mountain. And they got dropped by like a helicopter or a plane. And so they were going to hike for a few days up this mountain, and they were doing some sort of, I don't know, something about crevices or something. I don't know what they were doing. But anyways, so they get off the plane, and they put their gear down, and their buddy walks up the glacier, like.
Yeah.
Right? And the other guys are talking amongst themselves, and they look up, and Buddy's gone. And they're like, what the fuck? Where'd he go, man? He was like right there on the glacier. He was like right there. He was probably a football field away from them.
Yeah.
When they last saw him. And they're like, holy shit, maybe he fell down a crevasse, right? So off they go, they follow his footsteps, and you got 2 pairs of footsteps in the snow, and nothing. No crevasse.
Yeah.
No, nothing.
So you need no crevice there or nothing?
Nothing.
Eh?
Nothing. They videoed it. They took pictures of it.
So
They
crevices.
call
yeah.
crevasse is like when the ice cracks, because a lot of these ice shields on the mountains can be like a mile.
meters down, you know.
Oh yeah. You
Deep as the glacier, whatever the glacier is.
Yeah,
you know?
it could be
300 fucking meters down.
It easily
could
could be a freaking kilometer easily in some of these.
There's a whole system
glaciers.
underneath there melting and fucking area. That's unbelievable what's happening underneath.
Yeah, and most crevasses lay like within sort of cave lines and stuff like that, because that's where the ice melts.
She calls
down
it tomato. I
causes,
call it tomato.
Well,
You know, crevasse, crevice.
Yeah. American, Canadian.
Cape Breton, crevice.
But anyway, so these crevasses can be absolutely deadly. Like in the glaciers and that, man, they're deadly. They're very deep. They're very, very sharp, rigid, deadly places. If you fall in one, the likelihood of you surviving it are slim and none, really. But there was none. There was no crevasse. There was no.
None.
It was just total ice cap, total snow. And his feet were in the snow. No steps forward, just gone. And they got pictures of it and everything. And they phoned the state troopers and everybody's just like.
Only one way to go if you didn't go down.
That's it.
And if it wasn't fucking going forward, you're only going up.
And they were on the mountain. They were on the mountain where they've seen hundreds of UFOs go in and out of the mountain and all that kind of stuff, right? Like that severe mount. Anyways, you can look it up. It's a famous story, and there's pictures from the story. Like it's not like. It's very well known, and Buddy's never been seen from again. Like, just gone.
David Paulides has a fucking lot of stories like that. I think it's David Paulides, but it could be Pilates.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure it's Paulides,
but it's
not Pilates.
But it's missing 411.
Yeah, it's missing
he's
411.
got many
awesome.
books.
Got some fucking awesome stories.
Yeah, he's got many books and videos. He did a show for a while called Missing 411 too. And he covered this particular story I just told you on one of those shows.
No doubt.
So it's just phenomenal. Like you're just like you can't explain it. You know.
He tells a story there. This one story there. It's another 411 case where the family, they're out camping, and this is, I can't remember exactly where it was. I want to say it's like not Montana or something, but
Washington.
No, No, I think it's one of those, like, it might have been Idaho or something.
Oh,
anyways,
okay, yeah.
Summers,
yeah.
anyways, it's a David Paulides story,
Yeah.
anyways, basically the family, they go out to this place, and it's just by the mountains, right? By a river, you know, there's a river over off here to the left.
Yeah.
And they're camping right here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the little guy's walking around, he's playing around, their little fella.
Yeah.
You know, while they're setting up the camp. They didn't even take their fucking eyes off him apparently for like fucking very long.
Yeah, 10 seconds.
And he was gone.
Yeah.
So the first thing they thought was
He's
by
in
the river.
Yeah.
Right? Close to the river, right?
Yeah.
So they go down and they're calling for him, they're going everywhere, right? But he wasn't in the river, he wasn't by the river.
Yeah.
And it was like I think the grandfather was walking with the kid on the path. That's what it was. They were going down the path.
Yeah.
And the child was kind of like, you know, walking behind the granddad. And the granddad looked behind.
Yeah.
And the kid was fucking gone.
Yeah.
And he wasn't that far away from where the parents were. So they were calling the kid and and the fucking... He was
just gone. Yeah.
He was just gone.
Yeah.
And then that was one of the children, I believe they did find his stuff, like 1,200 feet up on a cliff.
I remember that one. Yeah.
And they found his certain clothes articles.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy fuck. Like, if it, that to me, if it wasn't folded neat and tidily, I would say that, and that's how they say it was like presented.
Yeah.
Like a gift or something.
Well, that's what I said. Like those sirens thing. That's what people do. Is they'll get stripped naked and fold it neat and tidy and put it down and then gone. It's just gone. It's like, what the hell, man?
But a kid, you know, it's not like he climbed there himself.
Yeah, right? No, for sure.
So either or somebody, like whatever happened.
Well,
that
story
just weird
too.
Stories,
that
right?
story too.
Could be Bigfoot.
The reality.
Could be a fucking person.
We don't know, but the reality
could be a psycho,
of that.
You know.
the reality of that one story too was that when they found the stuff up at the point of the top of the mountain where they found it, even if the kid could have climbed there, he couldn't have done it in the time period at which they found it.
No.
There was no way. There was just no way. So there's a lot of really, I mean, just, you know, mind-blowing stories. Well, like
but certain stories,
like
they
the
comb the area.
kind, like
They
the
comb
fourth
the
kind.
area, though. They
Yeah.
combed the area. They
Yeah.
said they never found nothing.
No.
Right?
No.
And then all of a sudden they found like a pair of shoes on a rock.
Yeah.
In the river.
Yeah.
And there was just like articles everywhere as they were finding.
Yeah.
And with a shirt folded.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then to me that would be like I don't know, it just doesn't make sense, right?
No, it doesn't. No.
But it is fucking weird, right?
Yeah. Oh,
and,
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
especially when it's kids or children, right? You know?
Devastating. Like I said, it's like the fourth kind there. That woman, you know, they thought she murdered her daughter.
Well, they
And
thought
her daughter
they
just went
were
missing.
swore by it, like they.
Yeah.
But the cop there, I don't know, like he says he swears he's seen a fucking spaceship.
Over the
That was
kid's
the
room.
cop? How
That
could
was
you
the cop.
fucking
It was
fight
on his
against it?
video.
Yeah.
It's on his video. That's the thing. It's actually on the patrol car video.
Yeah.
Showing the light over the little girl's room, and he's like, and they gave her lie detector test after lie detector test, and she did not murder her child. Like, so yeah, there's a lot of strange things happening out there.
Like her
Well, she
son
lost everything because
persecuted
everybody,
her, you know,
everybody thought she was crazy.
It's unfortunate. Like it's too
It's
bad.
bad
It
enough you
destroyed
gotta
the family,
lose.
but
Well, yeah, you gotta lose
know.
your kid. Now you gotta lose everything else too. Like,
well, now you got to blame
That's-
somebody because there's no,
yeah,
you know, in
no
their head
answers.
they're denying it, and they're,
yeah, no
you know,
answers.
because do you really believe it, or do you think, you know, did she really see? And you almost fucking always, you know, when we see something with our eyes, we always try to convince ourselves it's not
It's
real.
true. Yeah, or it's true.
You know, yeah.
Because sometimes
Well,
what you see is
something
not
that
always
you can't
what
explain,
you see.
though, this is what I mean. Like
Yeah.
you're good, you deny it.
Yeah.
So you're not going to admit it. You think you're fucking playing tricks on yourself.
Yeah.
You always look for reasonable explanations
Yeah.
in your fucking head
Yeah.
to
explain
justify what you're seeing.
it. Yeah.
Because when you see something like that, like when we seen the spaceship, we know what we're fucking looking at. And
Yeah.
at first we're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And you got the windows open and
Yeah.
it's quiet,
Yeah.
you know, or your kid is missing that fucking moment of just like, whoo, where everything just goes, drops.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right? And I imagine that's what that would be like.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Because when you have no answers,
Yeah.
you know, or like the kids, there's another one Dave played a story
Yeah.
that the kid goes missing in the swampy area,
Yeah.
right? And they're fucking looking all night for this kid. And they found him the next day, safe and basically,
Yeah.
he was safe.
Yeah.
And whatever, he said that there was some sort of shadow thing
Yeah.
that came and took him. Now remember, this
Yeah.
is a kid, right?
Yeah.
Like
No,
3,
I
4
remember that
years
one
old.
too. Yeah.
So, you know, he's explaining what he's seeing
Yeah.
to the adults,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that's what kept him warm and safe all night,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And it sounded like fucking like a Bigfoot to
Yeah.
me. That's,
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
but you know, in the story, but you don't really know because you're listening to a fucking 5-year-old tell the parents what it is, right?
Yeah.
So you got to remember that too. They're
Well,
kids.
yeah, it's like back in the day, right? Like, so, 2,000 years ago, if you saw a spaceship, what are you going to call it?
Yeah.
You're not going to call it a spaceship because you don't have the language at that point in time in history to have that conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're going to call it a fiery wheel in the sky because it looks like a wheel, circle, right? It's got fire around it, so it's a fiery wheel in the sky.
Yeah.
Right? Well, what is that? That's a UFO to us, right? But to them, it's just a fiery wheel in the sky. I don't know what the fuck it is. Like, no concept. That's God.
Yeah.
Because what else could it be?
Mm-hmm.
It has to be God.
Well, you want
Because
to know?
I have no other words or language to express.
We don't.
Where,
And
what,
some
what I'm
things you
seeing.
don't. Some things I just think we're not meant to fucking know. Right.
Well,
some things like that, like sometimes you hear nasty stories from people too
Oh, yeah.
that have been abducted.
Yeah.
Okay, so whatever psychologists say, whether they making it up in their fucking head, whatever psychologists, either that, at the end of the day, that person has been very traumatically stressed
Yeah, for whatever
from
reason.
this experience.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
for some reason
Yeah.
they feel is real.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have to go with like they you have to go with the truth, and if that's their truth,
then
you
you
can't
argue
deny
with
their
it.
truth.
Yeah, you
know?
can't argue with it.
Because they're traumatized,
Yeah.
and some of people like they're telling you the story of being abducted, and they're fucking traumatized, right? And,
Well,
and
like
people
like
do
I-
go missing.
Like I said, Buddy from Fire in the Sky, I can't remember his name now, but the movie is called Fire in the Sky, and he was abducted for 5 days. So they took him for 5 days,
Mm-hmm.
and he said they took him to save him because he got hit with their engine exhaust or whatever, and it threw him like a good 50 feet away from the craft.
Yeah.
And injured him to a point he would have died right then and there.
Yeah.
And so he said they took him to heal him because that was not their intention. Their intention was not to hurt him or injure him or anything. And then they dropped him off 5-6 days later when he was well enough to go back and live his life and go on about it, right? So, and there's a guy that was missing for 5 days, man. They accused his friends of murdering him and everything. I mean, these poor bastards have been through hell and back because they witnessed this. And then everybody's saying, no, you're lying. You murdered him and buried him somewhere. Like, I'll put them on lie detector tests, and they all pass the lie detector test.
Yeah.
And you're still insinuating that they murdered their buddy.
Yeah.
Like, these are fucking lumberjacks, okay? These are not psychopaths that learn how to fucking beat the lie detector test. These are not geniuses. These are fucking lumberjacks, guys that cut lumber down every day.
Yeah.
Like, how fucking smart do you think they are that they could pull this
I know
shit
some
off?
Pretty smart fucking lumberjacks.
Hey, I'm not saying that. I'm saying from a technology point of view at the time, right?
Yeah.
That they'd be able to beat all this technological. That's not in their makeup. Are they smart? Sure, what they do, and probably could build you a house and create all kinds of clever gadgets for you and whatever. Geniuses in their own right, but not when it comes to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not gonna. Yeah, I mean, these guys here when
If
when
you
they
see
first,
something, you don't believe it.
well,
That's
no,
the first
even
thing.
when they went to the cops,
Most
they're
people
like,
don't believe what they see with their own eyes.
even when they went to the cops, they're like, look, you're not going to believe us, man, but they felt compelled to tell the police because their buddy was missing.
Yeah.
The guy they worked with, they worked with him for years. This is their friend. One was his brother. Like, they're not just going to say, oh, you know what, this crazy story, we can't tell anybody. Because our buddy's missing.
Well, no, they're desperate to find him.
Exactly, right? So they go to the cops with this story. The cops are like, so where'd you bury him? And they're like, no. Because, you can't. I guess the moral of our story for today, folks, is don't just dismiss somebody because it's a crazy, outrageous story. Because the reality is, you believe all kinds of crazy-ass conspiracy theories that don't even make sense, that have no end game, and yet you won't believe a guy that is dead serious and traumatized that he got abducted or he saw something that totally traumatized him.
Clearly, like I said, it doesn't matter it doesn't matter how a person tries to fucking say it. At the end of the day, if you don't know, and you've never been in that position, like
then you
that
don't
woman,
know.
you can't physically say
You don't
they
know.
haven't or they're full of shit. Because they are truly, at the end of the day, you look at them.
Yeah.
It truly bothered them.
Yeah.
It truly traumatized them.
100%.
Some of these people you meet, like, that talk about UFOs or abductions, let's say, because that's what we're talking about is missing people tonight, right?
Yeah.
So the abduction ones and those special cases, some of those people never did come back, and there's only one way they could have
for
disappeared.
sure. Yeah.
And you said, like, the fucking, there's more than one case that's like that, where the footsteps end there in the snow, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like they
Just
fucking
gone.
went up into thin air.
Yeah.
And how do you explain that?
Yeah.
It's not that somebody just picked them up and fucking took them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? There's no other trucks but fucking theirs leading in
well,
there.
you even look at,
Right?
even look at,
out, so
here's
how
another
do you
one
explain-
like that.
We could always fucking look for bullshit and excuses, though, as humans. That's what we do. We always question our own shit.
Here's another one from Missing 411 that Buddy did, and he did it on his show. So there was a young fella and I believe it was in Saskatchewan. Or no, maybe it was Ontario. It was Lake Huron, and he was on the American side.
Yeah.
And he told his family he just finished the winter semester, so he's going to go do some ice fishing. He'll be back at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right. So off he goes to Lake Huron. Ice is frozen. It's wintertime. It's cold. This is back in, I think, the 90s. And that night he doesn't show up at home. So parents call the police, state police, and say, listen, our son went out ice fishing. He was supposed to be back tonight. He's not home. Here's where he said he was going. You know, can you check it out? So the police go and they check it out, and they find all his gear, his fishing rod, his boots, everything, including his winter jacket, and a set of footprints out onto the ice that stop, and that's it. No footprints coming back, no footprints going forward, no hole in the fucking ice, no nothing. Kid's gone. He's just gone. He was about 18 years old, 19 years old. Yeah, so hang on. So police say to the parents, like, we don't know. He's just gone. Like, the guy's gone, right? 13 days later, they get a call from their son out of, like, California.
Yeah.
And he's like, Mom and Dad, and they're like, oh my God, where are you? What is going on? And he's like, okay, I don't know where I am. I don't even know how I got here. Yeah. But I don't have a wallet. I have no money. I have no way of getting home. I don't know where my jacket is. I had to borrow pants and shirt, like he got from some homeless shelter. He got pants and a shirt. Yeah. He's walking around in his underwear. He's like, I don't know where I've been. I don't know what's happened, but I want to come home. And they're like, you know, so they call the cops there. Cops interview him, talk to him, assess his situation. Yeah. They get him on a plane home. And Buddy from Missing 411 interviewed him. And still, to this day, he has no recollection, no clue of how he got from here to there and what had happened in that 13-day period.
No, he has a lot of, that's what I like that 411. There's a lot of cases like that.
Yeah,
they
like
wake up in other fucking parts of the world.
You know, and his parents were just thankful.
No recollection how they got there, no IDs, how they even cross borders. Mm. You know, like a lot of times too, they'll wake up in other places.
He was on no flight, right? Because they track that. He was on no train. Like, they can track all that. They have all that information. You got to give your name and whatever. Yeah. But they tracked everything to try and find some way to see how there's just no explanation whatsoever of how this individual got from here to there and where he was for 13 days. No. Like, just not a clue.
No, there's some strange shit out there.
And his parents were just happy he was alive. So, you know, when he said he didn't remember, they weren't sure if he was telling the truth or not. Because maybe he just didn't want to remember.
Well, people can have psychosis moments. Oh, no, they say they can have fucking episodes too where, like, psychotic breaks.
Yeah, no, but I mean,
and just
you would see the footprints coming back.
But like, some way of how did you get here?
Exactly.
You didn't fucking run.
That's right. Exactly. Right. That's what I'm saying. Right. Like the beauty about the snow is if somebody wants to backtrack their footprints, you can still see that. Mm-hmm. If you're a tracker, you know the difference if it's been stepped on twice or stepped on once, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, if you're in war and you don't want somebody to see where you're tracking, you want to backtrack yourself, nobody's looking that hard. But when you're tracking somebody, like in an investigation, and you want to see, you know if they have backed themselves out, because it's never going to be perfect. Yeah. Right? Like, it's never going to be exactly where you put your feet the first time. So there's always going to be a clue that you've stepped in those footsteps twice, or 3 times, or 4 times, whatever. So they're saying with their investigation, he walked out to that about 20 feet out onto the ice once, and only once, where his footprints stopped, and that was it. no indication, going forward, going backward. He was just gone.
Yeah.
And that's what stumped them, is that there's no trace of him going, okay, I'm just going to leave my shit here and fuck off. You know, I'm done. You know, like nothing. No
And
psychotic
that you'll
break.
never have an answer for, because you don't know.
No, and maybe someday he'll
could have been
he'll
a time
remember.
warp, could have been anything.
Well, that's it. You don't know,
loop,
right?
Could have been wormhole.
You don't. That's it. You don't. That's the thing. You don't know. That's why I say when I say the fifth
Right.
dimension, that's kind of what I mean, right? Is like you're walking into, because I don't know if you guys have ever had this, but I've had this. When I was with a certain woman a long time ago, she had a mother that lived on Manitoulin Island, and we used to drive there a couple of times a year to go visit her.
Yeah.
Right? And so every time I go to Espanola, it's the same time. It would take the same amount of time, 4 hours, 4.5 hours, whatever. Same amount of time. But when I would get to, just on the other side of Espanola, to go to Manitoulin Island, which is like another hour and maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah, down
by time.
Yeah.
Drive time and the speed limit. Sometimes it would take me like an hour and 45 minutes doing the same speed. Like nothing in the way, nothing, just that's what kind of, it was like time slowed down in this corridor.
Yeah.
And then other times I would make it in like 32 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, and again, not speeding, not just going the speed limit, going what I should be doing. So it's like, how the hell? So I every once in a while her mother would say, oh, you guys got here quicker than I thought. And I go, yeah, we hit your time warp. Right? I called it a time warp. Yeah. Because it would happen all the time. We were either taking 2 hours versus 25 minutes. And it's like, how is this happening? Like, I don't get it. And I don't know if anybody out there has ever had this, but it's a weird feeling. And when you're driving, when it's like time has slowed down, it feels like time has slowed down. When it's fast, it feels like it's fast. You know what I mean? Like you feel like the trees are ripping by.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's like you feel like the trees are going by slower, or the trees are going by faster.
If I go slow, I find I want to sleep.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
that's
No, I get what you're saying, but this is a different feeling of, it's like when your greenhouse fell.
Yeah.
You have those moments when you watch something fall, it's going to fall, and it's like a slow motion fall. It's almost like time is slowed right down for that moment for it to collapse, right?
Yeah.
And that's the feeling, but now stretch that feeling out for 2 hours. It's ridiculous, right? It's crazy.
No, I've been there. Like we were driving in certain times. Sometimes it takes you longer to go across Canada.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You do. You hear certain areas that just seem like they fucking like.
It's a time warp. It's like a time warp.
Holy Jesus!
Yeah.
Your eyes are like fucking playing tricks on you.
Yeah, it's like two piss holes in a snowbank. You feel like fucking pink elephants are crossing the fucking road, and it's not because you're too tired to drive. It's not.
It's just fucking. Everything's just darker too. You ever get into a spirit spot like that?
Black, down by Lake Superior, man. There's one spot there that's so black.
Holy
oh my God.
Shit! And that's the spot I'm talking about.
It's like you just drove into a black hole.
Well, I was taking my bike, and of course I stopped in Marathon. I got a new light.
Yeah.
I didn't actually. I actually made that trip all the way to Southern Ontario, but I had my 2 spotlights.
Yeah.
That was all I had.
Yeah.
So my center light was gone. And nothing's open in Northern Ontario. I mean, anybody knows it. So Northern Ontario, like fucking, it's morning time before you get in anything.
That's right. Yeah.
Some areas.
Yeah, 100%.
So you make sure you got a full tank and you're fucking good to go.
Yeah,
right?
that's right. Because we're down in once you pass Thunder Bay and that Sault Ste. Marie, you're pretty much done. Yeah.
It's fucking. Yeah. It's
desolate.
So there was a spot though. I was riding down there, and that's the Superior, man, and coming around there, and it's fucking black. And that I had those 2 spots. That's all I had. But it was even looking around. It was just like everything was fucking. It was raining too.
Yeah.
But it was even just dark.
Yeah. Oh no,
It was a dark trip.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was a terrible trip. It rained all the way from fucking Alberta to Sudbury.
Yeah.
But there's a spot there, and it's creepy.
Yeah.
There's some creepy spots in
right.
Northern Ontario.
The one I think for me that I found was like that dark is right between. There's a spot right between Thunder Bay and Sault Ste. Marie.
Yeah.
For about an hour, and it's black. Like it doesn't matter if the sky is clear.
Yeah.
You can see all the stars, you can see the moon, and yet it's black. Like it's like you drove into a black hole.
Yeah.
Like your headlights are struggling to see the road and see around it.
But I find that's a lot like that.
And then again, it happens just on the other side of Sault Ste. Marie. About a half hour out of Sault Ste. Marie, there's another hour stretch there towards Sudbury, between Sault Ste. Marie and Sudbury, that has another, like, I'll call black hole. That if you're driving at night, man, it is so black, like you couldn't see an Animal Crossing if you wanted to.
No, it's eerie. Like
it's really eerie.
Like,
yeah.
Because one thing you got to worry about in Northern Ontario is a lot of moose. You'll always see, especially at nighttime, dusk.
Yeah.
It's fucking terrible. And moose, man, like when you're on a motorcycle, they can be intimidating, so you're watching the roads.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Well, I mean, the reality in Ontario is, even in a big rig, you can kill yourself with a moose.
Oh, fucking right.
Yeah, like
go right through your car, tear the head right off you.
Yeah, like they're big enough and massive enough.
They're the size of a fucking horse coming in. They're bigger than a moose. A moose is sometimes bigger than a fucking horse. You know, almost as big as
some of those big ones are.
Big ones, yeah.
Well, yeah, they are for sure. So, anyways, those are our missing stories for tonight. So now we're going to show you my eye.
Anyways, yeah, so we're going to, I'm going to, if you don't mind me, we're going to do some recording here, and we're going to try to get a great image of it.
Preston's going to pick up the camera.
All right, guys, so
I need the light.
Yeah, let's move this. Sorry, guys. Forgive me here. I got to spin this around here.
Okay, here we go. You got me?
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Turn your head a little bit, Carla.
Okay.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Whoa, what's that look like? Now here's the eye. Boom.
There it is.
Boom.
Fucking there you go, guys.
See that, Preston?
Slow it down there where you flip it, Carla.
Yeah.
So this is what a hollowed eye looks like.
Yeah, it's like almost like a contact lens, and that's what the inside looks like.
Pull it back a little bit, Carla. Pull it back. Yeah, right there.
That's what the outside looks like.
Yeah.
And that's what the inside looks like.
Yeah. And then she'll pop it back in now.
And that's what it looks like when I pop it back in. There you go, guys. That's what a glass eye looks like. They're not all the same. Some of them have stems, and there's all different kinds. But
Shoshay.
This is mine, Shoshay. There we go. Right. So you guys have an awesome freaking week.
Hit the like and subscribe button. Share it with your friends,
Share it with your friends. We love you all, and we'll see you on the next one.
Peace, guys.
Take care.
Have a good night.
Bye.